You can't mention bully without thinking about the name Mr.
Miyagi was one of the first dogs in the game that I saw 10 years ago when I started. When I got in the dog game, there was only one dog that looked very unique from the rest of the dogs.
When Miyagi finally came out, I mean, I remember pictures of him as a puppy with his ears, and people were just losing it because he just had such a distinct look.
The killer part is that when Miyagi was born, he was more like a special puppy.
Okay, well, in 1995, I joined a company that was producing bull semen and selling bull semen around the world. And it was that company that subsequently cloned the first calf in 1997. And that was right after Dolly the sheep was cloned.
The headline on the other major news story today, to which we intend to devote some time, is very simple. Hello, Dolly.
In February of 1997, a Finn Dorset sheep named Dolly sent waves of future shock around the world.
The first living, breathing clone of an adult mammal.
It's possible we're seeing a scientific explosion comparable to the atom bomb or the moon rocket or DNA itself.
For many, it was a case of science gone too far.
Are we acting more like the creator than creatures? Are we trying to play the role of God and all this?
I've been around 25 years now doing this.
Wow. So a little bit about the process that, so say I contact you and I want to clone my dog. What's the process? What's the first
well, they
step?
first of all did it correct. In most of my cases, at least half of my cases, it's emergencies. People don't know about this. The dog dies and dog gets sick, and they call me and I have to deal with an emergency. Wendy called me and said that she wanted to go forward with the cloning, so she ordered a kit, she and George, and I sent them the kit, and they were prepared then to collect the tissue and to ship it to me, and lo and behold, before they did that, the dog died suddenly.
Okay.
Had with the collection of the tissue and shipped it to our laboratory in Massachusetts. They did everything right. However, because it was an emergency at that point, contaminated. And fortunately, they had collected more than 2 or 3 vials, and George kept back a vial, and he insisted on sending the last vial, and fortunately, it was not contaminated, and we were able to get it to culture to grow.
Okay, great. Now, is there a time span that you have when a pet passes away before they can get you the DNA or the genetics that you need to be able to clone a pet?
Yes, there is. There's a very short time period, and it's not only based on time, but it's also based on temperature.
Okay.
So if a person's dog dies, they must keep that dog refrigerated at about 40 degrees until the tissue is collected. And if I get it within 5 days under those conditions, we'll probably be able to get the cells to grow. But if it's in an extreme temperature or extreme cold, if it's frozen, then it's very likely that it won't grow regardless of how much time between, even if they get it to me within 24 hours.
Okay.
And that's the main thing, that's the biggest problem we have, is that in many states, when you take a dog in and it dies or it's euthanized, the practice is to put it in a freezer. And within about 12 to 15 hours, the cells are no longer viable.
Okay.
So that's the critical thing.
You've been in the game for like the past 13, 14 years, man. What you got to say about this boy Miyagi, man? We're trying to throw this shit in the documentary.
Man, you know, first off, I got to start it with saying, you can't mention bully without thinking about the name Mr. Miagi. You feel me? That come hand in hand. Anybody mention bully, off top won't think about Mr. Miagi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that boy done changed everybody's game, everybody's program. He done changed it for the better for sure. You feel me? Like if you don't know who he is, you irrelevant. You knew, you irrelevant. You feel me? You don't know who he is. If you ain't, you know, when he came out, when you ain't had him in your ped, like, come on now. People laugh at your ass like you want some old shit.
Talk to him. That's that legendary shit, man.
So Miyagi, bro, like, come on now. He gave you a whole revolutionary look.
Right.
You feel me? He was able to spit dogs out, and you be like, oh yeah, that's Miyagi blood, right? Like, bro, I know I was new to the game, kind of, you feel me, when he came up, but I ain't never heard of nobody saying some shit like, look, like, oh, let me see that dog. Oh, he off Miyagi? So, bro, come on now. You know, when I first started in the bully game, bro, I bought my first bitch Sparkle off my folks, Lil D. And, you know, Lil D, he a good friend of mine. He was also like a mentor. And he, you know, when that bitch finally came in, I'm like, bro, who should I run it to? And mind you, in this time, I've been already seeing videos of Miyagi on YouTube. You feel me?
Yeah,
I'm like, boy, this boy is hard. You know, so I ended up running, you feel me, going with that. I didn't know shit. Mind you, I don't know nothing in the bully game. I'm fresh. So my folks said, hey, run it to him. I emailed George. I said, I want to use your stud. How much is the stud fee? He say $5K. I'm like, what? I'm like, damn, I'm used to hearing bullshit. I'm like, fuck it. You know what, nevertheless, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I said, all right. I made my way to go see George. I went from the Bay past LA, gave George that $5K to play, and I went about my day. You know what I'm saying? And shit, bro, and one thing I forgot to mention is, bro, Sparkle was an ugly ass bitch, and George will tell you this all the time. He makes fun of me all the time. He'd be like, you remember you bought that ugly ass bitch? But check this out. Man, that bitch, man, listen, him and her, 6-piece. Out of females and 2 males, I kept 3 females. Bro, listen, that litter, and that's one thing, that's one word that describes Miyagi, consistency. Yeah. That boy was consistent with his litters. Come on now. You feel me? Right. Come on now. You can have an ugly bitch. And I'm the proof of that. Ugly bitch, fire litter. Yeah. So, bro, come on now. And like I said, Miyagi is a big part of it, but also is George. You feel me? I done used every dog.
You say that Miyagi was the first American bully that's ever been cloned in the world?
Well, I'm quite certain of that because I'm familiar with virtually all the dogs that have ever been cloned since I worked with the Koreans when they started doing this. And I was taking care of most of those that were coming into the United States, and certainly there was never an American bully in that group. It's the first American bully I've ever worked with. But I know now that Viagen has not dealt with an American bully in the past 3 years that they've been cloned.
Thank you.
This is the first American bully, which is exciting.
Now, can you go over a little bit of the process of once you get whatever it is that once you get the tissue from George and Wendy for Miyagi, what's the next process that happens?
Well, we get the tissue. We're looking for certain cells that can be used to produce a whole individual. And those cells are very few and far between. They're by and large stem cells or they're fibroblast cells, and they are a complete set of DNA, whereas most cells that I'd be getting from an animal would be a differentiated cell. In other words, it would be liver cells, and the only thing I could do would be clone more liver, or I could clone more heart, or I could clone more bone. But an undifferentiated cell is what we're looking for, comes usually from skin or muscle or connective tissue. And so when I get that, if you send me hair or other types of tissue, I probably won't be able to do anything. But if you send me muscle or skin, then I digest that in enzymes. And I break out all the cells that are not wanted. You know, it may be fat cells, it may be blood cells. I differentiate those into only fibroblast cells. And when I get the fibroblast cell, I have a differentiated cell that I can then use, undifferentiated cell that I can then use to produce the whole individual.
Okay.
Family in the building right now. You know what I mean? We got Octavio all the way up in the Bay, TBC's finest. You know we're not getting nobody on this line but the best, man. And right now, fam, I'm just calling you just because we got this Mr. Miyagi documentary that's dropping. And, you know, I want, first off, the clone edition. You know what I mean? Like how Miyagi has changed, you know, the game for you and your life and your family. You know what I mean?
Legendary shit.
Hey, so this is what I'm gonna say. Anybody that knows me out there on social media, you already know what it is on this side. Straight Miyagi blood, bro. When I got in the game, bro, Miyagi blood is what's done it for me. You feel me? People that hit me up, they hit me up for the blood. You know what I'm saying? People know at the end of the day, the blood has been producing for years. You feel me? The blood is still producing for years. Every hitter in the game today got Miyagi blood in it. You feel
Right,
me?
right.
What they say, niggas ain't buying dogs unless Miyagi's in it.
Yee!
Real talk though. Hey, that's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people in the game, you know, we got to salute because a lot of people, you know, oh man, these fools get acting cocky. Like, hey, check the Carfax, bro. Miyagi blood has been producing, bro. You feel me? Phenomenal. I mean, worldwide, international, everybody wants it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the stocks stay high it's at an all-time high, bro.
Right,
this
right.
is like Bitcoin. You feel me?
Huh.
It's up there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but on some foundation, legendary shit, on some humble shit, you know, I'm real grateful with the Miyagi blood. The Miyagi blood has done a lot for my program. I mean, anybody that knows me in the game, bro, knows that. That nigga Top runs with that Miyagi blood, bro, because that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? It's all gas, no brake. You feel me? Straight up, it's there.
Yeah.
Real talk, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, respect to my nigga George, you feel me? I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. George is one of the niggas in the game, bro, that really helped me out because I give credit where it's due, bro.
Yeah.
So, I mean, realistically, if you ask me, till the day I go, bro, anything in my yard is gonna always have Miyagi blood. And, you know, salute to Miyagi, bro. They ain't ready for this shit that's coming because you know they ain't ready, bro. Because it's always some next level shit, some boss shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So at the end of the day, that's what the movement is over here on this side. You feel me? And like I said, bro, I mean, I'm not out here tooting my horn, but I fuck with motherfuckers worldwide. You feel me? And when motherfuckers hit me up, you know what they hit me up for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Miyagi.
They need that.
I don't give a fuck if we're fucking with Hispanics, if we're fucking with the blacks, if we're fucking with the Chinos, if we're, hey, Miyagi, hey, Miyagi, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide networking, bro, straight up. So I just wanted to jump on here and salute George, you feel me, for all the hard work that he's been doing for years. Because at the end of the day, bro, listen, you got to give credit where credit's due, bro, because remember, who's gonna pop your collar for you? You feel me?
Right.
You have niggas around you, brother, gonna respect what you're doing and push that movie. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, your nigga Tom, nigga, I'm out, man. Straight Miyagi blood, you know what it is. George, congrats. To the top, man.
What is the accuracy of the cloning? Like, you know how, you know, I don't like when they take your DNA for a kid and they go in and they say this kid is 99.9% your kid due to DNA, blah, blah, blah. Is it the same way with cloning?
Well, it's the same way, but it's much higher than 99%.
Okay.
I mean, it's in the billions.
Wow.
The idea that you would have another individual that matched your genetic markers, and it's not you. I mean, it's almost impossible. It would be much easier to win $20 million in a lottery than ever finding someone that matched your DNA. It is identical. I have no doubt about that.
Okay, so now once you get through going through the cells, when do you send what you've done over to Biogen, and what do they do in their lab or their facility?
So I'm Malaine Rodriguez, and I'm the client service manager at Biogen Pets.
And what do you guys do there at Biogen?
So Biogen provides cloning services for dogs and cats, and we do horses too. And we do DNA preservation. So we can actually take the DNA from a pet and make an embryo and put that embryo into a surrogate mother. And then she'll give birth to a dog that is a genetic twin to the original dog. So their DNA is exactly the same.
What's the percentage that they're exactly, would you say it's 99.9, something like that?
99.9999999.
Wow.
It's a very, very small amount of DNA that comes from the mitochondrial DNA from the egg, but that nuclear DNA is 100% the same dog.
Okay. And where are you guys located?
We're based out of Austin, Texas.
In Texas.
This is crazy.
Mr. Miyagi, man, when I say that name, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to the bully game, the bully world? And why is what we're about to drop about to just shake things up 1,000%?
it's just, you know, my Mr. Miagi is, that's what it means, legend. You know what I mean? That's what it is. He's a straight up legend. It changed the game completely. You know what I mean? The game wouldn't be where it's at right now if it wasn't for Miyagi. I mean, that's how much of an impact. He literally changed the whole game. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was my next.
Man, but with him changing the game, like nothing has ever been done like this in the bully world, in the dog world, in the, you know what I mean? Like in the dog community, period. Nobody has ever thought about doing what George did. How do you feel like niggas are gonna think about that? Like, you know, is it just another legendary move, or niggas gonna try and copy that move? What you thinking?
You know, they time, that's legendary, man. That's some movie shit. Like, you know what I mean? My brother George, he a motherfucking legend for this. You know what I mean? Like, this shit gonna go down the record books. First time ever a bully cloned. You know what I mean? And for it to be Mr. Miyagi at that, that's just like, you know what I mean? Like, damn. Crazy, just mind blowing, you know what I mean? Legendary shit.
Right. Now, when I was talking earlier, I was telling these niggas how Miyagi changed my life, you know, and got my passport stamped up and got me flying around the world and you know, really tied in with this TBC family type shit. But what's some of the things that you would say Mr. Miyagi has done for your kennel, your yard, yourself and your family?
Man, changed everything, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I know you know a little bit about me, like, you know a lot about me, but you know what I mean? I had a business store, you know what I mean? I had, like, legit cell phone stores. I had a lot of them. And just, you know, once I got to bring to Miyagi and I saw what it was, you know what I mean? Like, man, I was like, this is it. This is it for me. Like, I can't never do nothing else but just breed bullies and breed Miyagi line. Like, that's it, 100%. Anything in my yard has Miyagi foundation, and it's always going to be like that. You know what I mean?
Now, from your experience, what's the reaction to the families when they receive their clone pet?
It's pretty amazing, and just like we saw today, there's tears all around from me, from them. It's very emotional.
This is the ultimate breeding.
Okay.
Cloning is the ultimate breeding. And George and Wendy are dog breeders, so they know breeding very well. They know that it takes a female dog for the eggs, it takes a female dog for the uterus, and then it takes a male dog to provide the germ cells. And they can either inseminate the female naturally through natural breeding, or through insemination, which they do, artificial insemination. And then you get your puppy. So you need a uterus, you need an egg, and you need a germ cell to get a normal birth.
Okay.
Now we have a really different situation in that we still need the same combination of an egg cell, of a male or a donor cell, and a uterus. But all of that is done on the inside with natural breeding. We do it on the outside in external breeding and cloning. So what we do is that, first of all, we will take your cell that we have, and it makes no difference whether it's a male or a female cell, but that's the cell that we want to reproduce. We want to clone that. So then we need an egg cell, and we need a uterus again.
Okay.
And we need a multi-$100,000 microscope to do this externally. And so what we do is that we will get your cell, ship it off to Biogen. They now have the cell that we want to reproduce. And then they have to go out and get egg cells. And they can get egg cells from any other breed of dog or mixed breed of dog. And then the same thing with the surrogate mother. It really doesn't matter. All we need is a uterus, basically, and we need an egg cell.
I don't know who this is. This is my brother. This is family. This is TBC Diego, man, all the way out there in Germany. What's going on, family?
Just here, brother, waking up.
Man, you already know what we got. Hell yeah. You already know what we got going on out here. We just did this crazy ass cloning with Mr. Miyagi. And I just wanted to call you and, you know, some of the other brothers from around the world and just get you guys' opinion and, you know, just a few good words that you could say about Mr. Miyagi as a dog that's transcended the game.
can you say about Miyagi, right?
Right.
First time I ever seen that dog, he must have been like 3-4 months old. You know, I remember George or somebody posted up a picture of him on American Bully World, and I remember when I seen that, you know, all I could think in my head was I'd never seen a dog like that in my life. You know, nothing ever came close to that dog at that point, and still to this day, you know. It was just something that after I seen that dog, every other dog was ugly to me, you know what I mean? And, you know, fast forward 10 years later, that blood runs through almost every yard in the world. So fucks with these dogs, you know what I mean? Including mine. Everything here has Miyagi blood in it, so it's a true living legend, man. He's you know, it's just a testament to that. Legends never die, you know what I mean? What George did right there was something, you know, it's trailblazing, man. Never been done before. Probably won't be done again, you know, and I can't wait to see what the next step is for, you know, Miyagi Jr. or Miyagi 2.
Miyagi don't say.
So a surrogate for the pets, or let's just say for Miyagi, works the same way as a human. It doesn't matter who the mother is. It matters where the egg and the sperm came from.
No, it matters where the donor cell, which you're calling sperm, came from.
Okay.
The sperm cell is really a germ cell. But what we're doing now is we've eliminated the germ cell. We're going to take that cell that we want to clone, and we're going to take all of the genes, all the chromosomes, all the DNA out of that cell and transfer it to an egg cell. But before we do that, you have to get the egg cell and you have to enucleate it. You have to remove all of the DNA from that egg cell. And they do that by penetrating it, and you're working under a microscope. They penetrate that cell with a pipette that's microscopic, and they literally suck with their mouth all of the DNA out of that egg cell.
Oh, wow.
They enucleate it, they empty it. Now you have an empty cell, and then you go over to your cell that you want to clone that I have produced and sent to Biogen, and they do the same thing. They suck it all out, but then they transfer the DNA into that empty egg cell. Okay. And now you have one cell that's only got the DNA that you want.
Gotcha.
And there's no mixture now. There's no mixture with the DNA or the genes from the eggs from the mother. It's only that cell. And then incredibly, they stimulate that with electricity, and it starts to multiply. You now have an embryo.
Wow.
That only has the
Miyagi's
cell.
DNA.
That's right. The DNA is in there, and now you've got a one-cell embryo, and very quickly in the petri dish, it begins to multiply. You have that embryo. Now you transfer that, just like you would semen, you transfer that to the surrogate mother.
Okay.
And you transfer on average a dozen of those cells, and now she's got 12 embryos in her body, and she takes it to term about 52 days later, and at that point your puppy will be born and you have a clone.
Now I have a question for you. Dogs tend to have quite a few puppies. When you do the cloning, do you only use the surrogate for the individual puppy? So in this case, would Miyagi's surrogate mother only have been holding him the time that he was conceived? Or do they put multiple different clone dogs or animals inside of this surrogate?
They've been practicing with a couple different ways. They've used only cells from one particular cell line.
Okay.
Or they're mixing two. They've been trying to use two different cell lines, and they've gotten better pregnancies when they've had more than one cell line. I think in this case, I do believe that there were two mixtures together, as I think Elaine told me. And it just happened that yours was a success and the other one was not.
We got my man Gus on the line, man. I appreciate you picking up for us. We over here at the TBC Resort. You already know what it is. But we're talking about that boy, Mr. Miyagi, man, this clone edition that we're about to drop here shortly. We had to add you into the fucking documentary. And we just wanted to know how Miyagi changed what you got going on in your yard personally and for your family and what you doing.
Man, to begin with, you know, like I tell everyone else, Miyagi was one of the first dogs in the game that I saw 10 years ago when I started. When I got in the dog game, there was only one dog that looked very unique from the rest of the dogs. And I think ever since, I mean, that's what created the exotics, or just changed the look to exotics itself. And that's what got me interested in breeding these American bullies, exotic bullies, whatever you want to call them nowadays. But yeah, Mr. Miagi was that one exotic dog that got me intrigued and wanted me to jump in this dog game. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Ever since, I wanted to chase that look.
Hell
and
yeah!
That's what got me into the dog game. His look, and there's only one dog. And that was
when he was born, that day I had took him out. I took out his mom at the kennel, and she started scratching everything. Scratching, and it was me and Chewy.
Okay.
Chewy from Bully Camp.
Hello.
See for life. History right here. Bully history, baby. World history. Dog history.
That shit crazy.
Man, though, we really appreciate with everything Miyagi did for all the bully world. Changed everybody's lifestyle, took a lot of people out the streets, fed a lot of families. Shit, took me and my boy George out the streets. You know what I mean? And we're just keeping it going, running that shit till the wheels fall off.
So he was like, man, that bitch about to have him. So I rushed her to the vet, to Dr. Bushko. They opened the bitch up. Miyagi was stuck in the canal.
Oh.
I would have waited the next day. He would have been dead.
Damn.
Straight up.
So Miyagi, the miracle puppy, again.
This is the second time.
Yeah, this is insane. This is insane.
Yeah, when Miyagi was born, he was stuck in the canal. The first time he was born. So the original.
That's because he was so big, I suppose.
Yeah.
We actually produced the cloned embryos back in August of 2020, and the puppy was born October 9th of this year.
Now, on the delivery date, which is today, it's extremely insane that it's Miyagi's actual birthday. Does that happen?
That's really incredible. You know, it's really amazing the similarities that we do see a lot. Sometimes I'll have a puppy that's born on someone's birthday or someone's anniversary or some special date in their life. I see this over and over again, and I don't know why. It's pretty incredible, but this is, I would say, not very uncommon when we see somebody.
Hey, Miyagi changed my life.
Yeah.
I threw away, I had like 40 XLs, a Razor's Edge, dog. I got rid of all that shit. I had like 40-something dogs, man. Goddamn, see Miyagi got rid of everything.
Yeah. Had you restart your whole career?
Had to redo everything.
Yeah, I feel it.
I was disciplined. I was mad. I spent all that money. See, motherfuckers kennel blind you. You know what I'm saying? So you start fucking with somebody, want you to stay with their shit. Then you sticking with people. And then they shit ain't shit. So when you see other shit, you go to a dog. I went to a dog show.
Yeah.
Saw Miyagi, changed my goddamn life.
Yep. Yep.
I ain't been happy since.
That's what's up.
I can't sleep at night knowing my shit ain't where it need to be at.
Yeah. You feel like Miyagi blood is needed in every yard? Everybody need a little bit of Miyagi blood?
Yeah, shit. Ain't no way around it.
Yeah.
If you ain't got it, you ain't doing nothing.
Right. You got to go through it if you want to be a part of the biggest thing in the world.
Got to. Even all these top studs got that shit. I mean, they might got added a different look with it, but Miyagi behind everything.
And Mr. Miyagi was the very first American bully that Viagen Pets has ever cloned.
And to your knowledge, would you say in the world?
As far as I know, there's never been another American bully clone.
And I think from what Wendy has told me, it sounds like you see already some amazing things.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh yeah. George has a nephew, and he used to play with Miyagi like all the time, and they would sleep together, and like it was just like his best friend. Anytime George's nephew would come over, Miyagi would always, kind of bypass everybody else and make his way over there. Like, you're here, blah blah blah. And when we got the puppy back, he was playing with everybody, and as soon as his nephew went to the backyard, it was just like Miyagi was back. You know what I mean? Like he knew to go over there to George's nephew and kind of comfort and play with him. It was weird, and we didn't. We all thought it was coincidence, but at the same time, it was like, no, this is really Miyagi. Like it was. I don't know. It kind of gave us the chills. Like it was trippy because this is a first for all of us, and this is something that you know, in a million years we never thought would happen, or it would be something that we would do. So now we're all learning and like seeing this happen and play out all at the same time. And to hear you verify it, it just like kind of is, you know, more mind blowing.
I guess, you know, what I would tell you is back in the day, you know, I was a teenager when I first saw and witnessed Miyagi, and I know that, you know, there was multiple bloodlines at the time that had really came out. And I remember, like, you know, I was having a conversation with George about this, and, you know, there's like G2, Marcelo, all these dope dogs were out at the time. And when Miyagi finally came out, I mean, I remember pictures of him as a puppy with his ears, and people were just losing it because he just had such a distinct look that was different from all bullies compared to that. You know, as a teenager, that was something that I've always wanted. Like I said, hey, if I ever had the money, I would buy it. And, you know, now that I'm older and I'm able to afford these type of things, that's basically what I built my whole brand on. You know what I mean? The old school blood. Now I'm adding it to my new school blood. I'm adding the new school blood to the point where I've locked in all the studs that George has because I love that look. But, you know, when I got back into the game, you know, I bought my first 2 dogs with the intent of having that specific Miyagi look, you know, because, you know, I remember Kratos, I remember Blue Demon, Karate Kid, I remember all these dogs that were out at the time that were just doing big things, Backline Primo, you know what I mean? I remember them, and going back into the game, you know, it was honestly like it was a wish that came true for me when I was at the Thebullycampline, looking at the sign, looking at all these dogs running around, looking at Miyagi, you know, and then when finally George said, hey, pull out, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to pull the dog out. And when I saw that it was actually Mr. Miagi, the fucking dog that I've loved from day one, I lost my shit, bro. I mean, George, it felt surreal, man. It felt crazy.
Like a full 360.
I couldn't even imagine. Like, I was already tripping enough looking at Miyagi, you know, and I was telling George, like, yo, how was Bono compared to these dogs? And he was like, man, that was a time, you know, that, you know, it looks way different now compared to it was. But, you know, he said it himself. He has 15 plus years of understanding the game and breeding the game and creating this type of dog that, you know, now looking at it, like, dude, that's my whole fucking program. To the point where I'm like, look, it redesigned my whole process and mindset of what my dogs are going to look like go forward.
Right.
And that's why I locked in all the studs with George, and I'm going to be there hopefully next week to do another breeding.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Hopefully I can pull up and meet you in person, my G. Man, we appreciate you. Appreciate all the words and everything. We're going to make sure to throw this in the documentary, man. It's going to be dope. Something to look out for sure.
Yeah, I think one of my defining moments, man, was when George said, I'm going to take a picture of you next to the sign holding Miyagi. Dude, that was it. For me, I was like, oh, that's crazy, man.
Dope.
I felt bad because, you know, I had just met George, and I was like, you know, I told him, like, hey, I wanted to ask him about Mr. Miagi, but I didn't want to, like, pry too much because I was like, you know, like, I know how it is. Like, I bet you a lot of people come here asking questions, you know what I mean? So I didn't want to pry too much. But when he said, hey, you know what, you know, he's buried over there, you know, but when he showed me the new Miyagi, that was just, you know, that just kind of made it for me, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it brought back just a nostalgia and a mindset that I was just like, dude, this is where I wanted to be.
Right. So you personally, what did you feel like when he told you that he cloned Miyagi? Like, how did that feel? Like, what was the feeling that came over your body? Like, even to think about somebody cloning a dog, you know what I mean? Like, Miyagi's so much more than just a dog, and I feel like that's why he cloned him. But at the same time, like, you not knowing what happened and then hearing that, like, what were some of the first feelings that came through your mind? You know what I mean?
To put it, I mean, for a lack of better words, I lost my shit. Like, you know, for me, I even told George, I was like, bro, that's a game changer, bro. Like, nobody has ever done nobody's ever done anything like that to the point where they're gonna clone, you know, the dog. You know, and for me, it was surreal. It was something that, you know, like, I hate to put like lab and all that type of stuff. Like, you know, you never think about stuff like that. You know what I mean? Right. Everyone wants the consistent look. They breed to get the consistent look. They breed to get what they want from the dog, but you can never have the same exact dog.
Yeah.
So when he told me I cloned Miyagi, this is the actual Mr. Miyagi, and he's over here reminiscing of all the things that Miyagi did, and it's in the same dog that we saw that day. It was just, it blew my mind. I told my bro, you know how many people are going to try to do what you're doing? Yeah. Because this is not something that's being done on a daily basis. Yeah. So I told him, like, you got to understand, bro, that what I see here is, like, you're just going to, man, you're going to fuck a lot of people's minds up because they're going to be like, damn. Like, who's done this?
For
Nobody
sure.
has ever done this in the game. Like,
You
this
said
is
it.
new. This is new and innovation.
This is brand new. This has never been something that's done. Period. You know what I mean? When we talk to the people who actually cloned Mr. Miyagi Biogen, they clarified and let us know that Mr. Miyagi was the very first American bully to ever be cloned on this planet. Period. The very first one.
Yeah.
So you saw the very first clone, and you know what I mean, like right there in front of you, fucking with it. You know, it's crazy.
I collected the very first Miyagi.
Yeah.
It's very sad, you know, like, it's crazy because George was like, yo, he's ready, so collect him.
Yeah.
And I collected it right there. I mean, first of all, I bugged out because I was like, damn, I appreciate you trusting me to be able to say, hey, you know what, like, this is a, you know, I couldn't imagine how much money he spent on the dog, right? For him to get him cloned, and then for him to say, I collect him. And it was exactly how he told me. He was like, hey, you know, Miyagi's going to be like an hour would just be out. You know what I mean? Like, just shooting.
Yeah.
In my mind, I kept thinking, like, that's why this fucking dog was able to produce 10,000 plus dogs in the world.
Yeah.
Because he was just shooting, bro. Like, he was just a production monster.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, like, you know, just seeing that and being able to take a picture and being able to just see, like, dude, that's history. Like, that's history in the making. And I felt honored and I felt privileged to even be there to experience that, bro. Especially because I told George I followed him for years. Like, I know everything about this
Since
dog.
we were kids, what are you talking about?
I'm telling you, man, like, nothing that it was a different, like, I couldn't even imagine. I told George, like, bro, I remember seeing his YouTube videos with him running around, and, you know what I mean, I kept telling him, like, every time he posted something, when he showed me the video and he said, like, this is what I did, I was like, bro, is this, like, referencing back to the story that you put that said 99.9999? The same thing, and he was like, just keep watching the video. All right. You know what I mean? But I mean, that to me was, dude, that was an experience, bro. Like, I can't, you know, for me being such a Miyagi fan, following the blood for years, following the blood in my own dogs and creating it myself, it was a great experience, bro. I mean, I couldn't, I'm still talking about it to this day. He said that we were going to be talking about it on the way home. We're still talking about it to this fucking day.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Can you see him?
Look at that. Hello. Hey there.
that was a big part of you right there. You did that.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of the donor, and boy, he's got a white chest just like the donor, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yes,
Look
exactly
at that.
like.
Oh.
Look at.
My goodness, that does. You've got several videos on the internet that I've looked at. And that does look like the same dog.
Okay, estamos hablando ahora con Laro from Brazil, TBC Brazil. Estamos hablando ahora de Mr. Miagi, lo cloneamos y queremos que Laro nos diga un poquito qué hizo Miyagi por usted y qué piensa que Miyagi hizo por toda la community del bully.
Saludos a todos. A mí Miyagi es, yo tengo, a mí me gusta mucho Miyagi. Miyagi es como una, yo tengo aquí en mi pecho, mira, yo tengo Miyagi aquí en mi pecho. Miyagi cambió la vida de mucha gente, porque again, otra vez.
Alright, you have to do it again. Fuck, did I play something?
Me pregunta otra vez, papi.
Okay, one more time.
Again.
Pre-take,
Okay,
right?
sorry.
Alright, ¿listo? Alright. Okay, estamos hablando ahora con TBC. Okay, otra vez. Estamos hablando ahora con TBC Laro from Brazil. Estamos hablando porque cloneamos a Mr. Miyagi y queremos que Laro nos diga un poquito de la sangre de Miyagi y lo que hizo en tu casa, en tu kennel, y a veces nos puedes decir un poquito más de Miyagi y lo que sientes tú de él.
Hola, saludos a todos acá de Brasil. Miyagi, aquí yo desde que empecé con los bullies, a mí me encantó Miyagi. Miyagi es como un king, es como un king. Aquí en mi casa yo tengo tuve mi kennel, todo mi kennel fue encima de Miyagi. Y Miyagi changed the people's lives. Miyagi para mí es todo. Miyagi no hay nada igual a Miyagi. No, es solo, él es solo. Aquí en Brasil, yo tuve pequeño y trabajé siempre con la sangre de Miyagi. Y a mí, yo tengo mucho aprecio y yo tengo amor a Miyagi mucho.
¿Tú qué sientes, Laro? Claro, ¿tú cómo sientes de lo que hace Miyagi para los perros? Pone el look, pone la mirada, dígame.
Miyagi pone la mirada de Miyagi no tiene igual, el look de Miyagi. Cuando tú miras un hijo de Miyagi, tú sabes que es de Miyagi, un neto, mi hijo, todo.
Correcto.
Miyagi pasa mucho, es único, no hay ninguno que hace como Miyagi. Cuando tú miras un hijo de Miyagi, tú sabes que es de Miyagi. Miyagi es único, hermano. Es lo mejor que tiene.
Exacto.
Lo mejor. Es perfecto, hermano. No tiene que decir, es perfecto.
He even, we call these crop circles, but where the hair grows like in a circular way, he has them in the exact same spots.
Really? That's something. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's a delight. Look at him.
Oh yeah. There he goes.
He's a little menace though. He's a little crazy.
He's we call him a little pet cemetery.
Pet cemetery, we call him.
Does he sleep? Tired?
He just woke up. Yeah, he just woke up.
He destroys everything.
But if I were to put him on the floor, he would go crazy right now.
Is he 3 months old yet?
Was he 9 weeks when we picked him up?
Yeah, so he's like 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
Yeah. 10 weeks.
That's wonderful.
And by coincidence, we were able to pick him up on the original Miyagi's birthday. We had nothing to do with that. It just happened that way. It was the most amazing thing ever. So we didn't have to spend Miyagi's birthday without Miyagi.
Right. So
that's amazing.
You know, Miyagi was gone for 7 months, but when he came back right on his birthday.
Yeah. So he passed May 5th, and when we received him, it was December 6th, which was original Miyagi's birthday. He would have been 11.
That's a record time. That's really record time.
Yeah. When we asked Elaine, what day can we pick him up? She said, how's December 6th? We were like, what? It was amazing.
Oh, that's delightful. Isn't he cute?
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi was the very first American bully that Viagen Pets has ever cloned.
And to your knowledge, would you say in the world?
As far as I know, there's never been another American bully cloned.
Yes, what did he say? Back on the air again. We're talking about the dogs tonight, tomorrow, and the next day. Yes, 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 yes. Man, this bully world is something else, isn't it? Man, they putting these dogs out here like it's no tomorrow. People don't understand the prices. It's like they didn't understand rapping. You know, they thought rapping was going to go under, but all it did was just brought more opportunity to the world and to the people that's out there. Yes, what did they say, though? Man, we got this man that's coming out here real strong in this dog world. Hey, we don't know specifically his name, but we know his title. They call it Camp Bully. Oh man, that Camp Bully is just something. You know, they putting out those dogs, and when they put them out, they put them out good. You know, and he's not doing it to do it, and he's not playing with it. He's for real with it. He's making it known that, hey, we're not the only one that's doing it. And we're here to let people know that everybody can get a piece of this money because the money's out there. He's not trying to keep it for himself. He says share, let it go. That's what he's doing. And he keeps making it. He's not even trying to make it. He just loves what he do. Oh man, he's just a beautiful person. But at the same time, it is the bully camp, man, and he's bringing it out real strong. He had a dog named Mr.Miagi. Oh man, he was a dog that everybody wanted to just have. He was a dog that when you seen him, they didn't know where he came from. They didn't know how he was bred. But when they seen him, they like, wow, that is a dog. It's like when you see something out there in the world and you look and say, wow, that is a beautiful woman. That's a handsome man. And you don't know what he's cut with. It don't matter what he's cut with or how he got here. It is what he is. It's beautiful. He's a handsome. And this dog was out of the world. He was a dynamite dog, man. Man, he just put it out there in a usual way. And he's getting paid with it. But at the same time, he does it for art. He loves what he's doing. He helped people out. He's not scared of this breeding and making dogs the way other people make them. What do you think about these other people that comes out with these cockapoodles and these Labradors, doodles, you know, and they get AKC papers, and now this guy comes out with these old dogs, they call them bully camp, and they don't want us to recognize him. Why not? Because he's a different narrowity? Or what? No, it's unfair. Come on, man. The guy is just doing what he do. He do what he loves to do. Come on, he's got to do something. But hey, what did he say? I'm not going to give up. Yes, what did he say, though? But anyway, the dog, Mr. Miyagi, man, he put his work in his years. Yes, he did. He did a decade. Yes. He have all kind of kids and Miss Sperms out there that's doing what they're doing. And he's putting them out in a fabulous way. Now he got this other one he got coming out. Oh man, and it's so unique, so neat, much littler. It's like a pocket something. They calling it man. It's right there in the bully camp. You have to go see it. It's just like going to the everlasting ranch. You know, like Michael Jackson had that everlasting ranch. He have the bully ranch. Yes, he does. And he's really bullying it up. But they can't stop him. They wondering, how is he doing it? But he's doing it. He have people all around the world that have his breed, his dogs. But these people out here is trying to stop him. They can't stop him. It's too late. They tried to stop rap game. It's like rap. It's not enough of it. And it's not going in. You think it's going to be over tonight? You think it's going to be over tomorrow? You think it's going to be over next week? No, it's not. It's here forever. All these other dogs are here forever, aren't they? And they even got in the World's Guinness Book of World Records. When are we going to put the bully cap up in there? When are we going to make them AKC? Come on. Man, he's doing it. Are we prejudiced? Nah. What is it? All he's saying, hey, man, I'm not worried about the prestige. I'm not worried about if they're going to put me up there. You know, hey, I made my own record. I made my own label. Hey, they don't have to recognize me. I recognize myself. He's like Muhammad Ali. Sting like a beast, bring like a butterfly. But whatever he do it for real. I don't know how he did it. I don't know where he came from. But all of a sudden, he just came from out of nowhere. Ain't that something? Man, that's a beautiful thing. And everybody that's out there that's hating on him, they need to just hang their hands up and say, wait a minute, he's a knockout artist. Yes, he is. He's coming out with something every time. You can't get him. It's just like a famous rapper. You know what I'm saying? The big rappers, the big singers, the big paparazzis, everything. It's something when you do it and you love doing it and it's not all about the money. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. Because he says, what did you say? Yes, what did you say? Because when you look at it, folks, man, you have to worry and wonder, how did he do it? Don't worry about what he's doing. Worry about yourself, because he's doing it. He's not doing the damn thing. He's doing the darn thing. Yes, he is, folks. Man, I just can't wait to see what he's going to come out with next. And at the same time, all you guys got to do is give the Bully Camp a shout out and look at his webpage and look at the things that he do. Hey, and he's not putting no one down. He's just being himself. Yes, he is. Come on, man. This man is just, he's just doing it. That dog, Mr. Miyagi, he is beautiful and is artistic dog, bully, as we call him. He made the dogs today of this world. They may have these other dogs, but these are the dogs that you'd rather have in your house, and they're not even a bad type of dog. Most people say you need a lap dog. This dog can be a lap dog. This dog can be a foot dog. This dog can be a bed dog. This dog can be all around dog that you want it to be. Yes, just take it and love it. And that's all you got to do, because the dog will love you back. Every dog has been loved with unconditionally because they know how to love back. And then at the same time, it's not the dog's fault. It's the handler's fault. And you have to realize that. Because when you love them, they love you unconditionally. And this is why he's putting out the dogs that he's putting out. And that's why he named his camp the Bully Camp. Because you know, when you see a little kid out there in the world, they want to be a bully, and they think about it and says, well, you know, I thought about it, but you know, I just was just chubby when I was a kid. And I didn't know no better. But what did he say? Come on now, what did he say? I just want people to leave me alone. And that's all. So the same thing with the bully. He just want people to leave him alone and just appreciate the things that he's doing out there in the world. Come on, let's give a hand out for the Bully Camp. Yes, they've been traveled around the world. They have done big things in the world. They gave donations to things that you really can't imagine they did, because he's not out there bragging about what he does. Ain't that something? Yes, it is, folks. It is something. But at the same time, what did he say? Well, I'm back now. For a second, I had to get a thought, because I'm trying to get me a bully. But at the same time, I don't know, because that is a lot of work, but it's a lot of love. And if you're not out there ready to give the love to your animals, you might as well leave them alone, because it's not about the money, folks. It's about the animals. It's about the breed that you're doing. It's about the love that you can share with these animals. And you can give them any name that you want to, but right now, hey, the Bully Camp and anything that's bully is working right now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All we have to do is just, let's give a shout out to the ones that's out there in the world that's giving their life up, messing with these bullies. Yes, you know, COVID-19 was out and things was slowing things down for a lot of people, but hey, it didn't slow nothing down for these bullies. Because they are bullies. They're going to bully their way through. Have you ever seen anything that ran through the wall? Have you ever seen anything that came through a piece of paper like a football team, and they just shouting out loud and they say, yes, 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 and they going through? Hey, those bullies do the same thing, but they take their time when they do it. You guys think these bullies don't walk? Yes, they walk. They just pamper them so much, so they walk them into the ring, carry them into the ring, and then they stack them. And what I mean by stack them, they make them look as beautiful as they can and show the forms that they have, the thickness that they have, the neck that they have, the jaws that they have, the feet that they have. Well, they're not really feet, but paws. You know, I got you. What did he say? Yes, it is. They are paws. They're not feet. But anyway, as we are talking and saying the things that we're saying, man, you can't stop it. And I don't know if they trying to stop it. And if they is, they better watch out. Yes, yes, yes. And at the same time, we want to just let everybody know, for Ed Cross that's out there, that Ed Cross people that's out there, they had the Dax bully, and he came up, and that's a legend. That's a legend. They both are legends. Dax, what is the other one they want to call? Miyagi, and there's a couple more out there. I'm not familiar with the bully world and the bully names, but I just know them too because I'm down here in Cali, and these are the names that I've heard a lot, the Dax and the, Miyagi and a couple other names, but hey, they are really legends out there. Yes, they are. Let's give a shout out, and everybody, let's put our head down for Mr. Ed Cross that just stood up here and stood for his dog and never let nothing down, because he was one of the main ones that did what he did. Yes, he did. And now we have Mr., I don't know if I should say his name, but Mr. Miyagi is Elf that comes out, and we just give a shout out for Mr. Miyagi himself, because hey, no one don't know, but he is that person. Yes, and they are legends. They are. So if we could just bow our head for a second and give it out for them two famous bullies that put the world where it is today, Hey, because it's what he said. No, it's what did he say? Yes, that sounds a little better to me. Oh man. Let's right now we're gonna spin our heads down and let's give our little shout out to Mr. Ed Cross and Mr. Dax and Mr. Miyagi himself. Yes, it took a little time to come back because we was just waiting for everybody else to get bowed down because we had got a call from Ginger somewhere. They said, remember Mr. Miyagi, and he had butted in at the last minute, and we just had to make that silent just that much longer. And because their phone calls are coming in right now. Yes, they are. Just slow down because we can't answer all the phone calls right now. We don't know where they coming from. The satellite is going. Oh man, it's just binging off the walls. Man, they doing the most. Man, wait a minute. I just cannot even talk no more because my phone is ringing and they says, what did he say?
Y'all better stop playing with us, man. TBC worldwide fucking known. Niggas ain't fucking with us. Step your game up, man.